Welcome back to Personal Branding 101 with me, Casey Renae, brand strategist, designer, graphic art teacher, entrepreneur, and just somebody who loves to pour into the design community. So, we are on to part 3 from Moodboard, which we talked about in episode 2, to now your full on message. All right, so housekeeping, if you haven't seen part 1 or 2, go back, do the homework, do it for yourself, self-service, and then come back and push play again here. Okay. I will be here. All right. And then next week for part 4, I'll be here again. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. We are going to do a quick recap. So, where have we been? We talked about in the episode 1 identity, and then in episode 2 we talked about aesthetic. Now, week 3, we are talking about the message. All right. So, where we left off, what a personal brand is. It's not just a logo. You have heard this millions of times because it is true. It's your reputation with intention. And then how you look. We explored the brand tone, color, and created a visual mood board. Now it's time for us to align those visuals with the right words. Now remember, if you have not got to see about brand tone, color, and all that, there are videos, yes, about color psychology as well as typography that we have also covered. So go ahead and click the link for videos, and they will come up for you. All right. So, I like to give you a little quotey quote, make it real deep for you before we begin. All right. So, marketing is no longer about the stuff you make, but the stories you tell. All right. And your personal branding, it means it's personal to you. Everybody has a story. Believe it or not, everybody has a why to why they're doing what they're doing and why they want to impact, sell, provide, create, whatever that looks like. Something has happened that made them come up with this idea to make or to serve. All right. And that is self-guided. All right. So today's focus is, what is a brand message? I told y'all before, I draw pictures for a living, but what I can also do is tell you who I am and what I do with confidence. And I want you guys to have the same thing, because even though, yes, I am a graphic artist and I am a brand designer, it is still important for me to sell myself to get these said dope ass clients that I do have. Your brand message, it is your one line promise, all right? It tells people what you do, who you do it for, why it matters. One more time, it tells what you do, who you do it for, and why it matters. It's not your resume, all right? This is not when you sit there and you run off and just keep going. Like, people hate that. I mean, sometimes I'm like, yeah, pop your shit, don't be humble. But then sometimes I'm like, all right, I didn't ask for that. I just quickly asked, who are you and what do you do? All right. So it is more about just your impact. All right. I should feel like it should feel how you explained your work to someone you vibe with, right? In 15 seconds or less. Like, oh, I do yada, yada, yada. And bam. They're like, oh my gosh, I do yada, yada, yada. And in that short amount of time, you both know a lot about each other quickly by just saying a quick sentence, maybe two, about yourself. All right. But I'm going to help you with that. So if you don't know where to start, I didn't know where to start at the beginning either, right? This is where you can begin. All right. So I help blank so they can blank. All right. It's easy. Just fill in the sentence. I help blank so they can blank. Here's a quick example for you. So for a brand designer like moi, all right, I help small business owners turn their ideas into visual brands so they can stand out and attract their dream clients. You see, I said exactly what I help, who I help, and then what the results are from me helping them. All right. So, one more time, I help small business owners turn their ideas into visual brands so they can stand out and attract their dream clients. All right. So, I gave you one more. I'm going to give you another example because, yes, I'm a brand designer. But what if I'm not a brand designer? What if I'm a blogger? Or what if I'm a fitness expert? And this is who I have it for. Right. So, this is also for the dynamic of a fitness trainer. I help busy women build strength and confidence through short, effective workouts so they can feel powerful in their everyday lives. You see what happened again? I help. Who exactly is that niche, right? Who is that group of people, that target audience that I want to select, to I want to support, so they can do what, right? And you want them to know and feel powerful in their everyday lives. Do we understand the connection that we're going for? So when you write your brand message, you break it down into these simple things, all right? The who. Who do you help? Like I just said, your audience, and you got to be very clear and be very real. I used to think that I'm going to help everybody. I'm going to serve everybody. I'm going to cast this net so big, and all these fish are going to come in it. That's not how that works. You have to be very niche and very selective of exactly who you want to. Because one thing is, have you ever been somewhere and you feel like somebody's just talking and it's really blanketed, so you're not paying it attention, right? And let's use church. If you're not religious, keep going. But if you feel like it's not for you, you're just going like, okay, not talking to me. But if they say, as a mother, as a sister, as a brother, or whatever, they feel directed to you and leads you, and the conversation feels like it is directly to you, then you are more prone to feel like, oh, this is exactly for me. Like this service or this product was made just for me. Just for me. Yes, perm. Anyway, so that is why it's important. All right. So, example, it could be high school students, it could be busy moms, it could be creative entrepreneurs, whatever that looks like, whoever that is, be sure to make them feel included and let them understand that this is specifically for them. All right. Next is the what. What do you help them do? Like, what is it? What is your superpower for them? We talked about this last time. What is your superpower that you are offering them that will, in all return, make them yield the results that they need? All right. So, your core action or your transformation. So, you can be confidence builder, right? I can create content. I can also find ways for you to stay consistent, whatever that looks like. There's no wrong answers, because contrary to what you think, people need things. Everybody needs something. There's a niche for everyone. One of the top rated videos on YouTube is how to tie a tie and how to tie a shoe, right? There's a market for everything for everybody. So never feel like no one needs this. That's just simply not true. All right. And then why? Why does this matter? All right. What is the result or impact of working with you? Like, what am I going to get? Am I going to make the person feel powerful? Are they going to grow their brand? Right? What are they going to save time? Are they going to make money? Are they going to leap to new heights and bounds? I don't know. Regardless of what it is, if it is a result that is worth a monetary value or time, because time and money, they're very, very expensive things, then that's what you want to show your results to be. Next, we have when your visuals and then your message ultimately work together. Because don't get it twisted, we are still here in this YouTube video to talk about the visuals of branding and personal branding. So I'm going to show you how to add them together. All right. So personal branding, when your visuals and your messages work together. When you design and your words align, it is a very powerful thing. Now, don't get it twisted. Sometimes word marks and things like that, they hit. But they also, if you notice, the structure of the fonts, the thickness, the boldness, the width, the signature of it all, it still represents and corresponds to the overall feeling of the brand. So don't think, okay, well, because I don't have icons or anything like that, it may miss the mark. That's not true. The fonts do hold visual identity, and we talked about that in the other YouTube as well. You have got to go back and watch these things and like and subscribe for more. Okay. All right. So you build trust faster when your words and your brand align. Your brand also feels very intentional and not random. Sometimes you look at things and you're like, where did this come from? How did this happen? Okay. Because how do we get from A to B and they're so disjointed, right? And then people ultimately get your vibe instantly. Like they look at you and then they look at a product or a service you're giving, like, that makes sense. Like, that just makes sense. We get it. And sometimes we look at people and we be like, that might not make sense. How did we get here? All right. And just kind of think about that to yourself with like brands and celebrity collaborations. Some of them you're like, that makes sense. D Rose, he did a flower shop for his retirement. He sold roses. Makes sense. Do not kill me on this YouTube. And Beyonce and certain things, I never seen that lady drink liqueur in my life. I don't know. So when she started doing certain things, I was like, how did we get here? All right. So it's the making it feel intentional and not random and making your vibe known instantly. All right. So think about your logo, your icons. All right. What does that look like? Your color palette, the fonts, and the layout style. All of these are design choices that can be inspired by what your message ultimately says. All right. And I have an example for you. We're going to just stay the fitness with the fitness trainer. So let's go over it one more time. I help busy women build strength and confidence through short, effective workouts so they can feel powerful in their everyday lives. So what we're going to do here, the way that they could show up visually, I came up with a fake name. It's called Pow Her Fit. Pow Her. And you know what? I ain't even gonna lie to you. ChatGPT did not help me come up with that. That was on me right there, baby. Power her fit. All right. So these are some just visual examples. All right. So time, then you have the bolt. You have the bolt like you think about when you have battery, it's powered on. The actual rivet, what is it? The riveter? Yeah, no, this joint. All right. But a strong arm. All of these show fitness. These are icons that work in to what you think about for fitness and bold and power and making an impact. All right. So the reason why this works is because we have displayed all of these elements, right? The color, the bold red, the energy, all these things, these icons into it. And the brand's promise, which was fast, powerful, efficient fitness for busy women. And the message tell the stories. And the design as a whole, it makes you feel what is being displayed. Are we good? We still going? Y'all got notes? I told y'all to get journals. You have to put your dreams and your goals and your random thoughts in a journal. So hopefully you got some notes as we continue on. All right, so bio time. I'm not going to spend a lot on this because I'm not a deep writer. I just know how to get in and get out quickly to the point. Because once you realize that you only draw pictures for a living, you've learned the good short and sweet of it all. All right. So, personal branding, bio time. Say who you are without sounding boring. Has anybody ever encountered somebody and you know they know what they're talking about? Like you can get a grasp of they're very knowledgeable in this area, right? And you're like, I know you know exactly what you're talking about. But it's so boring, like it's long, it's drawn out, and you're just like, put some oomph behind it. And it's not even a personality thing. It could literally be just the words. And words mean things. Shout out to Kid Fury from the Read. So, with that being said, we want to make sure that our words show up and they are also impactful, just as that one liner that we just practiced. Okay. Your bio is one of the first things people read online in speaker intros, proposals, or social media. It should sound like you. You share your vibe and your value, and you need to be short, sweet, and specific. All right. A good bio feels like a conversation. I should be able to tell you who I am, and it flows so effortlessly that it went over your head. Like, damn, she just told me who she was, and I know X, Y, and Z. And then I'm gonna go regurgitate because I met somebody who did X, Y, and Z because they got that information from me so effortlessly, and it didn't feel forced. All right. This is not a resume, not a LinkedIn paragraph. This is something very real that you need to consider. Now, I'm also telling you, ChatGPT can help. All right. I told y'all, ChatGPT, I mean, it's here. Why not use it? All right. So, what I suggest you do for ChatGPT, if you are going to use it, I like to say when I first start ChatGPT, hey, ask me a couple of questions about X, Y, and Z, right? Because once you ask me a couple of questions about X, Y, and Z, then you'll start to get my tone. You'll start to get how I feel about certain things. Maybe say if you are a food blogger, hey ChatGPT, or you can name it. You could be like, hey Chatina, I want to talk to you about a couple of things. I'm thinking about making a bio for my food blogging business, and I need you to ask me a couple of questions about food and how I feel about it, right? And then they will give you questions and you need to answer it. So ChatGPT is like, okay, this is her tone, this is how she answers things, this is how she feels about certain things. And then we say, thank you, Chatiana. That is not what I just called that thing. Chatina. Chatina, name it. Name it also, because when it comes back to us later, what was that old saying when you was a kid? They say don't name things you don't want to. Okay, anyway. All right. So hopefully that helps. So we're going to start with the simple structure: who you are, what you do, why it matters, and what makes it you. All right. Before, you're just simply saying, this is what it is and this is the result. Now, this is a more personalized way to do it. We're going to talk about who you are, right? What you do, and why it matters. So the example of the structure is, I am a, and then you have your insert your title or your role. Who helps audience, right? This is, again, be very, 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 very specific. All right. Have a niche and don't feel like you're leaving people out. All right. You need to go after, because I'm going to also tell you something. All right, I'm gonna get on my soapbox real quick. It is very important that you niche down, because I feel like I might have actually said this. Birds of a feather do flock together. And if you sit there and you say, I'm gonna open this to everybody, and then it's somebody who you really don't want to work with, and then they come along, and then all of a sudden you're starting to work with them and they liked you, you hated them. Now they're telling their friends who do the same thing. You have we have missed the mark. We've lost the plot at that point. Okay. So it's very important to very niche down. All right. And then who helps whatever that audience is do something. What is the action? By how you do it. And I'm known for, and then you add your personality, your impact. Of course, I have an example for you because I love you. All right. So again, we're just going to stay on the fitness trainer for this whole situation. So it says, I'm a certified fitness coach who helps busy women build strength and confidence by creating short, effective workouts that fit into their schedule. I'm known for my high energy, real talk, and no excuses attitude. I love whoever this person is, because I make excuses and sometimes I just need to get the shit done. So the person would be amazing for me. And I only know that from two sentences, because it says short and effective. I'm a busy woman, very busy, very, very busy. And I need high energy. Y'all have seen how I am. And then no excuses, right? Sold. Right? And that's ultimately how you want somebody to feel about you when they are working with you. You want them to say, you want to say something, they be like, so you ain't got to tell me no more. You don't got to tell me no more. All right. And that's always the goal. So let's prepare ourselves, because you know what's about to happen. Homework. All right. Homework. So personal branding homework. Write your brand message. You are going to take the template. I help blank, so they can blank. All right. And I want you to write this, and I really want you to ask yourself, like, does this sound like me? Um, does my audience get what I do? They get what I do right away? Like, is it translating the way I think? Take it around, shop it around, shop it around, shop it around. Ask your friends. Ask your friends. Ask the gram. Ask the hater. Ask your man. Come on, Megan. But go ahead and ask around and see what they say, right? Say, that sounds like you. That's exactly what you do. They be like, nah, you know damn well you don't do that. You know you don't do that. And see what the results are, and kind of find a happy medium, one that you're happy with, and stick with that. All right. And then part 2 for your homework, connect it visually. I'm not about to make you make a whole logo, but we are going to start thinking about the icons and what that looks like. All right. So you're going to take your brand message and think, what would this look like? You're going to think of icons, how we did for the fitness trainer. There was the, what's this called? It's called a muscle. There's a muscle. There was a battery, lightning bolt, things like that. Think about the fonts. The font that you saw was really bold. It was really direct. It was sharp edges. All right. We don't cut corners here. All right. And that's pizza. What it? Don't worry about it. All right. The fonts, playful, professional, elegant. What is it? Colors. Are they warm, bold? Your visuals should echo what you just said. Your message, if your message says like I'm bold and efficient, then you should not have handwritten font, right? That doesn't even make sense. All right. So your brand shouldn't look soft and slow and like it's just with ease when you use my service. No, if I'm doing fitness, it's nothing easy about it. I want that quick, effective 20 minutes, but it ain't gonna be easy, but it's gonna be worth it, right? And all of that can be conveyed with typography. Go back to the YouTube channels and watch that video. All right. So you have homework, you know what to do. You put it in the Substack chat that is located at the bottom in the description, as well as on Substack. If you have not joined the list, you really should. It's really good. It's a really good list. Like it's like over 1,500 people on there that would agree. It's a really good list. All right. And then next class, we will put it all together. All right, visuals, messages, tone, and then we'll start shaping your full personal brand in action. And it's going to be amazing. And it's also going to be our last class. That's also going to be our last class. I'm proud of you. You did it. We did it. Who'd have thunk it? Not I, but I'm glad we made it. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, put them down in the comments or as well in the Substack. I cannot wait to teach you some more next Tuesday for our final class. And hopefully personal branding is off to an amazing start and you feel more confident and you are putting together the messages and the branding and the mood and all the things to help you get where you need to be. So until next time, I will see you later. Bye.